Welcome to Why Decrypted. Today we'll be looking at why do people believe in conspiracy theories? You've been on the internet, you've seen all the conspiracy theories floating around. UFO sightings, the moon landing hoax, reptilian leaders, the Anunnaki, secret plots to overthrow the US government. It's pretty commonplace on the internet. But have you wondered why so many people believe in conspiracy theories? When it comes to the world of far-fetched conspiracy theories, Twitter was already a hub long before Elon Musk dove into the scene with a hefty $44 billion investment. However, upon taking charge, Musk seemed to remove many of the safeguards Twitter had in place to curb the spread of wild ideas. From anti-vaxxers seizing on an athlete's collapse to revive baseless claims about COVID-19 vaccines, to freelance journalists concocting elaborate threads alleging Twitter's secret support for Democrats in 2020, and Musk himself hinting at a jealous boyfriend behind an attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband, the realm of conspiratorial thinking found new vigor. Surprisingly, more than half of Americans, by some measures, believe in at least one tale of a covert cabal influencing events. While some may be grounded in reality, the majority, ranging from age-old classics like the moon landing hoax to more contemporary notions like 5G towers causing COVID, defy scientific and logical reasoning. Social media platforms like Twitter and Meta, while contributing to the spread of these theories, raise a fundamental question: why do people fall for such ideas? Social scientists are now actually making strides in understanding this phenomenon. The dark triad personality traits, narcissism, psychopathy, and a tendency to see the world in absolutes, are identified as factors. Political beliefs, especially populism and a tolerance for political violence, also play a role. Cognitive biases, such as selectively believing only the evidence that confirms pre-existing beliefs, make individuals more susceptible. Surprisingly, new research points to a prevalent and troublesome personality trait as a primary driver, and it's not ignorance, social isolation, or mental illness, it's overconfidence. According to a recent study, the more someone believes they are always right, the more likely they are to buy into conspiracy theories, regardless of the evidence. This becomes alarming when considering that individuals prone to such overconfidence often wield significant influence. Think of an ex-president who believes he's infallible, or a CEO convinced that building expensive cars makes him a visionary. It would be easier to feel better if conspiracy theories were just the product of ignorant people, but history proves time and time again that arrogance is far more difficult to eradicate than simple ignorance. It has come into focus that conspiracy theories are surprisingly widespread, challenging the long-held belief that they belong to the mentally ill or the fringes of society. Here we reach Michael Shermer's perceptive investigation in Conspiracy: Why the Rational Believe the Irrational. The author, publisher, and editor-in-chief of Skeptic magazine, Michael Shermer, who has been a monthly columnist for Scientific American for almost 20 years, a New York Times best-selling author, and a publisher of Skeptic magazine, has explored the reasons why even rational people are attracted to these unconventional beliefs. Curiously, Shermer contradicts the idea that only extremists believe in conspiracy theories. His in-depth research elucidates the widespread acceptance of these views and gives useful context for understanding the rational fallibility of some individuals. For anyone curious about the mental processes that give rise to such outlandish beliefs, Shermer's investigation provides a fascinating window into the world of conspiracy theorists. Though they have been around for a while, conspiracy theories have only recently gained widespread attention. The idea that the United States government orchestrated terrorist attacks and mass shootings is one example that raises eyebrows. Furthermore, there are many who hold the view that vaccines actually make people sicker rather than better, or that the pharmaceutical industry is maliciously spreading diseases. Half of all Americans believe in a conspiracy theory, so these beliefs are more common than you might expect. To begin, how would one define a conspiracy theory? The premise is that shadowy organizations plot and carry out their evil schemes. In this day and age where information and facts that disprove these beliefs are easily accessible, why do a surprising number of people still find themselves drawn to them? Scientists suspect psychological processes, perhaps with evolutionary roots, are at work. When you feel helpless and alone, it's easy to start believing that evil, powerful groups are out to get you. After these ideas take root, they become even more entrenched due to the effects of cognitive biases and mental shortcuts. Curiously, conspiracy theories have their roots in the same paranormal beliefs. The internet has accelerated the spread of these paranoid ideas, although they are not new. We need to investigate the possible consequences of these beliefs and identify the psychological reasons why some people embrace these conspiracies if we want to know why people believe them. There are some pretty notable conspiracy theories everyone has heard about. One example is the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, which suggests that politicians and Hollywood elites are involved in a child sex trafficking ring. Surprisingly, a study found that around 9% of respondents actually believe in this theory. Then, there's the QAnon conspiracy, originating from a far-right site, claiming to have insider knowledge about a secret deep state working against President Donald Trump. It's quite a wild claim, but some people buy into it. Remember the whole controversy about President Barack Obama's birthplace? Well, a study found that 11% of those surveyed believed he wasn't born in the United States. And let's not forget the conspiracy suggesting that billionaire George Soros is secretly plotting to destabilize the US government. Shockingly, about 9% of respondents in a study indicated that they buy into this idea. Now, you might be wondering why people fall for these theories. Researchers have identified three main factors. 1. Epistemic reasons. This is a desire for certainty and understanding. In a world that often seems confusing and chaotic, people naturally want to make sense of things, creating a stable understanding of how the world works. 2. Existential reasons. This involves a need for control. When faced with uncertainty and distress, individuals may turn to conspiracy theories to regain a sense of control over the situation. 3. Social reasons. People have a natural desire to belong or feel special. Embracing certain conspiracy theories can provide a sense of belonging to a particular group or the feeling of being privy to secret information. Certain situations tend to foster belief in conspiracy theories, such as large-scale events where smaller explanations seem insufficient. Additionally, people with lower educational levels, analytical abilities, and a lower tolerance for uncertainty are more prone to embracing these theories. It's also worth noting the role of confirmation bias. People gravitate towards information that aligns with their existing beliefs. So, when a conspiracy theory supports what someone already thinks is true, they are more likely to accept it as truth. It's a fascinating, albeit sometimes concerning, aspect of human psychology. And one fascinating aspect that adds to the allure of conspiracy theories, as supported by research, is their entertainment value. They share common ground with genres like science fiction, fantasy, horror, detective, and adventure, captivating audiences with compelling narratives featuring good and evil forces, plots to overthrow governments, and schemes to rule the world. When it comes to understanding why people are drawn to conspiracy theories, researchers Eric Oliver and Thomas would delve into the concept of intuitionism. In their book Enchanted America, How Intuition and Reason Divide Our Politics, they explore a key factor, a preference for intuitive thinking, relying on gut feelings, over evidence-based rational thinking. This division between rationalists and intuitionists became a crucial aspect of political dynamics in the United States. According to Oliver and Wood, those with higher intuitionism scores tend to be more inclined toward religious, spiritual, supernatural, paranormal beliefs, and alternative medicine. This sheds light on the cognitive tendencies that contribute to susceptibility to conspiracy theories. The internet and social media have undoubtedly played a significant role in the rapid dissemination of conspiracy theories. Societal stress and uncertainty, observed during events like the COVID-19 pandemic or times of political instability, economic insecurity, and war, also heighten the receptivity of individuals to such theories. Real conspiracies, as pointed out by Shermer, differ significantly from imagined ones. In history, conspiracies often unravel due to unforeseen circumstances, human error, defection, or whistleblowing. Shermer offers insights on how to discern unlikely conspiracy theories and provides tools for engaging in conversations with friends and family who may have fallen for fallacious beliefs. One intriguing psychological aspect behind the appeal of conspiracy theories lies in the desire for a simplified and coherent world order, even when acknowledging the existence of nefarious actors. This contrasts with the actual complexity and chaos of the world. As Alan Moore aptly puts it, the unsettling truth is that nobody is in control, and the world is rudderless. According to research by Bruder and his team, people often turn to conspiracy theories as a way of feeling safer and more in control. I mean, it's no surprise that when you're feeling threatened or anxious about something, detecting potential sources of danger becomes a coping mechanism. It's like our brains trying to wrestle back control when life throws us a curveball. So, what does the research say about this? One study found that individuals who feel psychologically and sociopolitically disempowered are more likely to buy into conspiracy theories. It's like a way of regaining some sense of power in a world that might seem overwhelming. Another interesting tidbit from research is that anxiety seems to go hand in hand with conspiracy beliefs. When people are feeling on edge, they are more prone to entertain these theories. But here's the thing, believing in these theories might not be the superhero solution people hope for. In fact, researchers suggest that those who buy into conspiracy theories might actually be less likely to take actions that could genuinely boost their sense of control, like voting or engaging in political activities. It's a paradox. Seeking control through conspiracy theories might lead to feeling even more disempowered in the long run. So, while it's understandable that folks turn to conspiracy theories to make sense of the world and feel a bit more in control, it's essential to consider the potential downsides. In the end, the quest for understanding might have unintended consequences, leaving people feeling more disempowered than ever before. Then there are also the social reasons. Some researchers suggest that when people believe in conspiracies that cast certain groups as the bad guys, it's a way for them to feel pretty darn good about themselves and their own crew. Yeah, we're a funny species. It's like those who buy into the conspiracy become the heroes of their story, battling against the so-called enemy who's plotting against them. It's like living in a real-life thriller where everyone has a role to play. Now, why do people get on board with these conspiracy tales? Well, it turns out there are a few common reasons. They feel like they are on the losing side of a political issue. Their social status takes a hit because of income or ethnicity. They face social ostracism and want to flip the script. They might have some biases against powerful enemy groups. Researchers think that these conspiracy beliefs might be a bit like a defense mechanism. When people feel they are getting the short end of the stick, they look for ways to boost their self-esteem. Blaming others and linking them to sinister plots becomes a convenient scapegoat, making conspiracy believers feel better about themselves. And there's also this interesting concept called collective narcissism. It's basically the belief that your own gang is superior, but sadly, others just don't appreciate it enough. When folks feel their group has been wronged, they are less likely to trust the government and more likely to buy into conspiracies. The way these ideas circulate is crucial. Sure, it's easy to brush off a wild story from some random source you don't trust. But when everyone in your trusted social circle seems to be on board with the same conspiracy, it starts feeling less like a crazy idea and more like a solid fact. Sharing these stories among friends gives a kind of social stamp of approval to these wild thoughts. It's a social echo chamber of sorts. Researchers have thrown in their 2 cents about why people fall into the conspiracy trap, but what's crystal clear is the not-so-great impact these beliefs can have. Sure, folks might initially dive into conspiracies hoping to understand the world better, seize some control, and feel more connected socially. However, the reality check is a bit harsh. Instead of fulfilling these needs, embracing conspiracy theories tends to reinforce negative emotions like confusion, isolation, disenfranchisement, and loneliness. It's like a not-so-friendly reminder that things aren't playing out as expected. Now, the worst part is that it becomes a destructive cycle. Negative feelings become the breeding ground for conspiracy beliefs, but in turn, these beliefs serve up a buffet of negativity. Trust takes a hit, not just in the government and leaders but also in the sacred realms of science and research. This ripple effect might discourage people from jumping into the social fray. They might start questioning their own value in contributing to society, feeling like bystanders rather than active players. Contrary to being a magic potion to cope with social alienation and political disenfranchisement, belief in conspiracy theories seems to be the architect of a trust-diminishing cycle. Instead of empowering individuals, it creates a slippery slope of distrust, leading to a sense of disempowerment that's tough to shake off. There are some very real consequences of buying into untrue ideas. It's not just a harmless exercise. It can have some serious impacts on individual behavior and, in the long run, affect our whole society. Take the recent surge in measles outbreaks in the U.S., for instance. One of the main culprits, a bunch of folks refusing to get vaccinated. And why? Well, It all boils down to this conspiratorial belief that vaccines are somehow linked to autism and other health issues. Now, this isn't just about a personal choice, it's a public health concern. Ignoring or not tackling these misguided beliefs can have some pretty hefty consequences. Think about it. If people start buying into the idea that vaccines are more harmful than helpful, they might skip getting vaccinated altogether. And that's not just a risk to their own health but to everyone around them. But wait, there's more. This isn't just about health. It can seep into our political process too. Imagine if folks start making decisions based on faulty beliefs. They might decide not to vote. Or, in some rare cases, end up involved in risky or violent behaviour. It's like a domino effect, misguided beliefs leading to actions that can have far-reaching consequences. So, addressing these wild misconceptions isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a crucial step in safeguarding public health and maintaining the integrity of our political system. Because, in the end, what we believe matters, and it has real-world consequences. But how do we go about tackling conspiracy beliefs in this age of information overload? Social platforms are claiming to crack down on conspiracy peddlers, but the big question remains, can we actually change someone's mind once they bought into a conspiracy theory? There are a few things to keep in mind when attempting to debunk these theories. First off, it's crucial to understand that disputing a belief might lead to resistance. People holding on to conspiracy theories often suspect that there are groups actively covering up these alleged activities. So, when someone tries to debunk these beliefs, they might see them as just another player in the grand conspiracy. It's a tricky situation. While it might be tempting to poke fun at some of the more outlandish conspiracy theories, like the ones involving intergalactic lizard rulers, it usually backfires. Mocking tends to make believers double down on their convictions, holding on to those beliefs even tighter. Now, here's an interesting angle researchers have found. Encouraging people to pursue their goals can be surprisingly effective. Those who believe they can shape their own future, promotion-focused folks, are less likely to buy into conspiracies. It makes sense. When you feel in control of your destiny, secret plots and nefarious plans don't hold as much appeal. But how do we encourage this sense of control? Well, one way is to nudge people towards a more promotion-focused mindset. Researchers found that this shift could actually reduce belief in conspiracies. Messages that help folks feel more in control can work wonders in minimizing conspiratorial thinking. Well, there's actually one very interesting tactic that works: writing it down. Researchers had participants jot down their aspirations, redirecting their focus toward goals and what they could do to achieve them. This simple activity nudged people into a more promotion-focused mindset, leading to a reduction in conspiracy beliefs. So, researchers have been tinkering in the lab, trying to figure out how to dial down those conspiratorial thoughts. But the real question is, can this stuff actually work in our everyday lives? Well, turns out, it might just be the trick for managers dealing with office drama and even for promoting public health. I mean, just imagine this. You're a manager in a workplace where water cooler gossip is practically an Olympic sport. Now, what if you could ease that tension? Researchers suggest that regular chats focusing on employee goals and how to achieve them could be the secret ingredient. It's like turning the spotlight onto everyone's aspirations, creating a vibe where folks feel more in control and less at the mercy of corporate mysteries. Understanding information can be challenging. Although it is important to avoid harmful conspiracy theories, like Pizzagate, it does not mean that skepticism towards institutions, marketing, and media is not justified. Conspiracy theories can have some merit. For example, think about the Tuskegee experiments and the Iran-Contra scandal. Identifying credible dangers to your safety and those that are based on rumor is critical as you gather information from various sources. You might even hold some of these beliefs yourself, so before you judge those who believe in conspiracies, consider how common they are. That's all for today. Remember to like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and I really appreciate it. Until next time, keep asking why and goodbye.